This is Just Nigeria. Today on the program, counting the cost. Residents take stock of their losses in the Onitsha Fire. Also, riding for a living. The female bikers define all hours to put meals on their table. And they are considered an environmentally friendly food. But do bags really taste good? Plus,
my name is Keye Adikeyo Tenaya. Check me out.
The lifestyle consultant, empowering entrepreneurs to achieve their goals through the power of communication. Hi there, welcome to Just Nigeria from the BBC and Channels TV. And here on the show, we look at the stories getting shared, liked and tweeted on social media. I am Wali Fakile. We'll begin with this rather sad one from the southeast. Now, one woman and her child are among the casualties in the Onitsha Fire. This comes after a tanker filled with petrol went up in flames at a market in the city. Property worth millions of naira was lost in the inferno, with emergency response units allegedly being poorly equipped. Just Nigeria's Ajoke Ulotse has been to the affected community to count the cost.
This is Onchanja Market. It sits in the heart of Onitsha, the commercial center of Nigeria's southeast. Lately, it has made headlines for tragic reasons. It all started on Wednesday, October 16.
We are told that the tanker fell around MCC Toronto. So now from there, the fuel now passed through the gutter. And we're like complaining that this gutter is smelling fuel. So all of a sudden, within 30 minutes, fire just burst out from the gutter. All of us we ran away.
Contrary to social media reports, not one stall located right here in the Onchanja market was touched by Wednesday's fire. Instead, adjoining street markets housing several plazas suffered a massive heat. Chinedu runs this plaza located on Emodi Street. It was home to hundreds of traders selling imported and locally made bags and shoes. The building that was once a beehive of business activities barely stands now, and Chinedu is devastated.
The damage cannot be quantified. When we talk about life, we lost about 3 lives here.
Oh God. Everywhere you turn on Emodi Street, stories of hopelessness and despair are told in hushed tones as people gather to mourn their losses. The driver of a petrol tanker allegedly lost control. The fuel flowed freely into open drains, and the response of emergency units has been described as poor. Traders here say they have been left penniless and others in debt.
My brother is normal, so we don't know where we're going to start again.
The oyin I'm oyin now, I don't know what to do. I need help, bro.
Remember Uche? Pictures of him and his pregnant wife standing over the rubble of their bond store surfaced on social media, with celebrities trying to raise money for him. Days after the inferno, we found him in the market, still picking up the pieces.
We are selling wholesale here. The cash wire drop here is 450,000, but the goods worth 4 million something to 5 million. I didn't come out with anything.
This is a typical example of the level of destruction whence this fire left in its wake. Before now, more than 200 traders occupied this plaza. Now, the integrity of the building is in question, and there's little or no hope for the traders. The extent of devastation here is better imagined. Nicholas Obi has lost his 38-year-old wife, Ifoma, and their 8-month-old son, Victor. Pictures of the deceased remains caused a stir on social media. Nicholas blames the government for their death.
I'm supposed to be angry. I'm a human being. After 6 years, I've been rejected. We have a government, and the responsibility of any government is to take life and property. That is the basic responsibility of any government. Other things are secondary. But in a situation like this, they could not be able to protect. It's painful.
Barely 48 hours after the inferno in Emodi Street near Onchanja Market, another fire incident occurred in Omaba Phase 2. after a petrol tanker allegedly ran into a stationary bulldozer. Here at the Aquara Mechanic Workshop, more than 20 cars were burned to the ground. This mechanic lost 7 vehicles belonging to his customers. There are 2 fire service stations located in Onitsha. The Obodo Uku fire station is located 2.2 kilometers away from the market, and a 12-minute drive from the main market service station will take you to a muddy street. The traders claim during both incidents, emergency units did not arrive on time.
Before they go to this place, the whole damage has been done. Even the one that even came from Asaba told us that they came here without having chlorine in the water, so there's no effect.
But government claims help was made available.
The fire chief in Anambra State said that his men were being prevented from rescuing the population because of angry mobs. Maybe one way or the other, they have interest of mobbing the people that was affected.
With reduced faith in state authorities, some traders have commenced rebuilding their structures as others appeal for support.
If they come, we hope that they will render help to us to start our work, so to help us to know what we can do to replace all those damaged cars.
As these traders try to rebuild their source of livelihood, there is a need to assess the extent of damage on the buildings before renovation begins. Also, state authorities should enforce appropriate measures to ensure speedy response in emergency situations. Ajoke Hulotse, GIS Nigeria.
Counting the cost of the Onitsha tanker fire, Ajoke Hulotse also had a chat with the Chief of Staff to the Anambra State Governor, Primus Odili.
The traders said they tried to call the fire service station in the main market, and they were told that the trucks there were down.
No.
And they had to, wait for fire service men to come all the way from Asaba before, help could get to them, which was about 4 hours after the inferno started.
That is not true. The truth of the matter is that we have 2 fire trucks inside the main market. We learned after this event that one was down, one very operational. They even used that one the previous night for a fire incident.
The people there say they pay at least, an average shop pays like 2,000 naira as tax to the local government, which eventually gets to the state government on a daily basis. No. Yet the road that passes in front of that market is practically a death trap. How is the governor not concerned about this?
One, I will correct that. Nobody is paying 2,000 something to local government. We have already harmonized what everybody pays.
So why is their road still like that?
Yeah, well,
even getting access into that market with the fire trucks with that road would have constituted a problem. You would agree with me?
It is a serious problem, and that brings us back again to what we are talking about, the people that are trading on the streets. We've talked about it several times. You see, they will destroy the road and build their shops. Some will build their shops or houses on top of the drainage.
So we spoke to the husband of the man who lost his wife and son in that incident, and he said to me that he believes that the government failed him, failed his wife, and failed his child. Do you think that the government failed in its mandate to protect these people, to secure their property?
It's a very sorry situation, and I don't want to comment on the statements of the man who is mourning the wife and the child. And the manner that they died is very pathetic. It's something that each and every one of us should be sorry. From the information we got, I have a message for our people. The message is, like is the standard everywhere. If there is fire and you manage to escape, please don't go back. Don't go back to pick anything, no matter what you forgot.
The official position of the Anambra State government on the Onitsha tanker fire right there. Let's move on to this week's 360 Roundup to see how other countries deal with fire emergencies. We start from Addis Ababa, where the Fire Prevention and Rescue Authority has partnered with the U.S. Forest Service since 2011. The collaboration is to help build capacity for firefighters through training, curriculum development, and standard operating procedures. In 2018, the firefighters who benefited from the training successfully controlled 6 fire incidents. And in Dubai, the response time of the fire service to incidents is 6 to 8 minutes, but it plans to reduce it to 30 seconds. Emergencies Operations Room will have devices that provide real-time images and data of incidents and will also predict emergencies. Finally, the number of building fires in New Zealand has reduced due to improved standards of building materials, widespread installation of sprinklers, as well as fire and smoke alarms. Notwithstanding, New Zealand has more than 600 fire stations with about 14,000 personnel. The fire service also educates citizens about preventing fires. Some tips and measures to adopt here? Maybe. Meanwhile, please go to our Twitter handle at GistNigeria.tv to tell us what you think could be done to put paid to fuel tanker explosions in Nigeria. Moving on, do you use commercial motorcycles as a means of transportation? Have you ever wondered what it feels like to be driven by a lady? In our next story, we'll meet some ladies who have taken the bull by the horn in their quest to earn a living. Take a look.
We're in a part of the world where people believe that there are certain jobs that should be left for men. But to me, I say no to that.
I'm into this business just to put food on the table of my baby.
I'm a graduate of mass communication, and coupled with the fact that there is no job and I have so many responsibilities as a single mom, I don't like the situation where I keep meeting family and friends to beg for money or take my responsibility to people. So I decide to ride. Since I know how to ride, let me use riding to make money.
I decided to join this work simply because I want to raise a lot of money so that I can go back to my higher degree diploma. It is not so risky, but with your proper equipment like your helmet, your hand glove, and some of the leg knee and everything, you'll be in a safer mood, but not 100% safe.
I've been living in Lagos for 15 years. To an extent, I understand Lagos road. So when I'm on the roads, I try to manage the traffic because I know sometimes the men can be, hey, madam, leave the road. I say, just go.
In my first week, there was an order that came for me. So when I picked the order, the man was like, female rider. I said, yes. So he said, no problem. So when I got to the place, he was like, I wanted to tell you that I've already cancelled it. I said, sir, why will you cancel it? But you asked me if I'm a female rider, and I said, yes. He said, the thing is that me, myself, I'm not safe with men, not to talk of ladies.
A man ordered me. He was like, I said, my name is Gladys. You just ordered an all-ride. He said, really? I said, yes. He said, okay. He said, I should come to the location. When I got to the pickup location, he was like, are you the one? I said, yes, sir. He was skeptical, either to enter, or he was just surprised. Sir, should I start the trip? It took him like 5 minutes to say, start the trip. And why till I end the trip, he was surprised. There's this surprised look on his face, like a woman riding a bike in Lagos State. How are you coping? I said, I'm coping.
There are some certain things that men do that is not really safe for we women to do. But you just have to try your best and be willing. If you are willing to do it, you can do it.
One difficult experience I had was I was on traffic and one tricycle was trying to overtake while I was trying to horn for him. But he wouldn't listen to the horn. He just entered my front and me and my passenger, we fell.
I was carrying someone to Aja. On the road, my bike chain fell off. So a rider was passing by, a male, and saw me standing helplessly. And he came. I was like, what's wrong? What happened? I told him, he helped me to fix the bike.
At the end of it all, I still have this joy, like life goes on. Every job comes with its own challenges.
When I'm going home at night, I buy some stuff for my baby. She'll be so glad. Thank you, Mom. God bless you. I feel so encouraged, honestly. I feel so blessed.
It gives me joy that I'm able to provide my needs. When I need money for anything, I don't go to anybody to ask for money. I want to advise women, don't just sit at the comfort of your home, thinking, just assume that this job is risky without giving it a try. Everything in life, you give it a try.
There's nothing you cannot do. Just trust yourself. Believe that I can do this thing.
There's no big deal about it.
Defying all odds in what's thought to be a man's world. Kudos to these amazing ladies. There's more to come here on Gist Nigeria from the BBC and Channels TV. Edible insects are a popular nutritious delicacy in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. But would you be watching Gist Nigeria from the BBC and Channels TV? I am Wale Fadile. Thanks for staying with us. Coming up in a moment, we check out the bespoke fashion designer and communications consultant, keen on inspiring successes for individuals and organizations. But before that, edible insects are often portrayed as an environmentally friendly alternative to livestock. Like the production of meat, bugs do not use up large amounts of land, water, or feed. But who is already eating them, and do they actually taste any good? The BBC's Joyce Etutu has been to Kinshasa to find out.
Caterpillars and insects are a popular delicacy in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The market for edible insects is forecast to reach $1.2 billion by 2023.
This is Zigana Market, one of the biggest and busiest marketplaces in Kinshasa. Shoppers here can buy anything from clothes to household items and even insects. Let's go get some.
Farming a kilo of insects produces 10 to 100 times less CO2 than the same amount of meat. According to Fenor, a regular buyer, the insects are small but costly.
You see this? They are fresh and they've got loads of vitamins which people love. It's also traditional food from our country, so we eat it because we love it.
In Kinshasa, many places cook them. So just how do these creepy crawlies go from being in the market to a restaurant menu? I went to meet Madame Françoise, the owner of Les Bambous chez Françoise.
Hi, I'm Joyce.
Hello. Bonjour, c'est Madame Françoise.
She let me into her kitchen secrets.
So, shall we do some cooking?
Ouais, je prépare comme ça.
Bon, donc juste.
Voilà.
During this period, I cook all the insects which come out without problem. So the caterpillars, the tree works, the crickets, all the insects at this period, I cook them.
Madame Françoise sells a small portion of caterpillars for 7,500 francs. That's just over $4, giving her a healthy profit margin. Despite this, she says the cost of insects have increased recently.
For the caterpillars, we buy them by cup. They are about 12,000 francs. Before they were 6,000, but now they've increased.
According to Madame Françoise, the business of bugs could be a good opportunity for the DRC.
They could create a society for it so that we can distribute them to other countries and explain that they feed children and adults who have health problems. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
30% of the world population feast away on edible insects. With their low production costs and high nutritional value, they're a great way to make an income here in DRC, and the market is set to grow. Now, I'm off to eat some more.
Very good. It's actually quite nice.
Looks like something I'll try out. But what about you? Tell us on Twitter at Gist Nigeria TV. To other stories, now she is the first woman to be signed by a top esports company. Esports is competitive and gamers can earn millions in tournaments. Let's meet the Kenyan gamer taking on the world.
When I held a controller in my hand for the first time, we just felt happy. That's the best emotion I can attribute it to. I was taking a lot of losses, I won't lie. It's not like it's easy as a beginner, but it just spurred my drive to continue because I'm not one to back down from a challenge, that's for sure. When I first got signed, I was actually overwhelmed by all the attention. Like at home, a lot of people regarded me as a hero, like Kaya Silva, I saw you on the newspapers. What's this you're doing? You know, like people are actually be interested in what esports is. I am showing people that there's more than one path to societal definition of success. It's very unconventional because video games are thought to be a child's thing or a man's thing. And here I am, a woman who's in a space that's male dominated. So it makes me feel good because I feel like I'm making a difference. Yes, you can make a living from being a professional gamer because it's not just the salary that comes from your team. There's also endorsement deals and being the face of a brand. If you want to be a professional gamer or esports athlete, you have to have an open mind in anything that you do. Because I have encountered this perception that gaming is a thing for idlers or people who don't know what to do with their life. After that, make sure you just have lots of fun.
Fantastic. And from that, we move on to Check Me Out, our weekly showcase of Nigerians making waves around the world. This week, we profile Keye Odunaye, an image consultant, coach, and public speaker empowering people to achieve their goals through communication and emotional intelligence. Let's check him out.
I came back home to see that I can make a difference. And honestly, I'm here to stay. Hi guys, how you doing? My name is Keye Odunaye, and I'm a communication consultant and a bespoke menswear fashion designer. Come on, check me out. Growing up in Ikeja was a very interesting one. I was a very creative kid, and I believe I still am, which is I could see things, I could picture things, I could almost be that one step ahead of you when it came to thinking. When it came to taking it from here to there, now they call it dyslexia. Back then it was just a lazy little guy. And I looked around the class and saw things I called the rich kids, the pretty kids, the brilliant kids, the athletic kids, and I just didn't fit in any of the circles. And I made a decision in that moment that I made my name. And I promised myself I was gonna be the most famous Keye that ever existed. After I finished secondary school, it's the normal culture we had within our family, which is you finish secondary school and then you move to the UK to go get higher education with the hope of something better. So the UK was very different for me. Different because it was the first time in my life I had to understand what it is to be really, really different. In Nigeria, I was a Nigerian and I was a man, a boy like everyone else around me. But in the UK, I was in a really polite way taught to understand that I'm a black man. A word that I really hate very much. And because of the type of family I had, my family name was very important to me. It still very much is. So I had to be careful with the way I used words, the way I reacted. But most importantly, I had to represent myself in the best way possible. Oh my God, I've worked with so many companies. I think thinking about it is really crazy. But I've always had a passion for people. And that triggered what I do, which is called Keye London, which is bespoke fashion for men. So what I do is I design and I consult men on how to dress, what to look, what to wear. Opportunity arose where I got a call from the Upskill Digital, who are the people contracted for Google across the globe. So Upskill Digital called me and asked if I can come train the Google team here in Nigeria. So I seized the opportunity when I came to Nigeria to do this training and I said, okay, let me sample one of my projects, which is called Showmanship, the art of communication, which involves networking, public speaking, entrepreneurship, customer service, branding, the ins and outs, but much more taking people back to the basics. And the feedback was phenomenal. Look for a service that people would need and use that to earn as you grow. Okay, so people, you've had the best of me, you've had the fun of me. This is Keye Odunaye, a communication consultant and a bespoke fashion designer. And you know what? You've just checked me out. Hey.
Splendid work, Keye. On to a quick reminder of our top story today then. Property worth millions of naira burnt down after a tanker laden with petrol went up in flames at a market in Onitsha. Do join us again next week as we'll be checking out Papa Omotayo, an architect fusing architecture with art, music and nature. That has been our package today, but we want you to keep in touch, so connect with us on Twitter at GistNigeriaTV. You can also get more updates from bbc.com/Africa and channeltv.com. Thank you for staying with us. I am Wale Fakile. Goodbye.